And yes, here's the thing. I know. What a champagne problem. There's a million things going on in the world. Hard, devastating, heartbreaking, just unlawful things. And so for me talking 10 minutes about my extensions being gone and how I'm like, what am I doing? I know. Not right. Not right. But thin hair do care, you know? Thin hair do care. I can't believe we're saying this, but welcome back to Indulge Me. I am back, friends, your internet friend and lover, Stacey McGunnigle. Hello. How are you? There's so much to discuss. There's so much to acknowledge and get ahead of and recognize. And we have time for it. And I'm going to be breaking it down. And I'm going to tell you this. I made notes on my iPad. If you are watching this, which I highly recommend because we have some updates here at Indulge Me. And I want you to also hold that it is very difficult for me at 39 to be asking you to go to my YouTube. Tough, humbling, but that's life. So get there, gal. Get to the YouTube because we've done a couple of things. The extensions are out. The extensions are out.
I'll tell you how I'm doing. Not well, bitch.
It's obviously really tough. I'm a thin-haired gal, always have been. Okay, and I just kind of like lived with it. And I was sort of unaware that extensions were a possibility. I actually can't even believe I've been working on television before extensions. Like I did commercials, I did shows, and never once did a hair stylist say, have you ever thought about extensions? Like I just didn't even, maybe they didn't think I was a good candidate. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the light loves to fight through it. So I have, since doing 22 minutes, gotten into the extension game. Okay. And they're amazing. I love them. I'm obsessed with them. I am them, but I have had them for like over a year. And that's like a bunch of beads in my head constantly. And I thought, okay, you know, it's the summer. Let's give your hair a break. And so a break was had. And it is a tough transition. Let me tell you, it's a very, very, very tough transition. Wow. Humbling. Simply and truly. The extensions came out and I was like, maybe a haircut. And I attempted a bob, but it wasn't flattering on the face, especially the sodium I had consumed the night before really, really provided a roundness to the face that made the bob sort of tough to commit to. So we now have these straggly little strands and we're all trying our damnedest to just kind of accept it and persevere because it's tough. If you have thin hair, you know, it is not easy. And if you're like me, I do this all the time. I try and do a little style in my hair. I put in the boost powder, the texturizing spray. And then what do? We go outside and a small breeze that wouldn't even disrupt a dandelion hits our hair and it goes flat and limp. And it looks like, well, I've described it, you know, just like loose little threads everywhere. It's such a tough reality. And if you're out there with thick hair, oh God, don't come at me with styling advice. I can't hear from people with thick hair. They don't know. You don't know the struggle. I can't hear it, not on this platform. Okay. After I got my extensions out, I went that night to go see Kate Berlant, who, if you don't know, is an incredible comedian. I love her so much. She's also on one of the hosts of Poog, which is such a good podcast. And she has the most delicious curly hair, so thick, so long. It's so fun. She can just like bop around the stage and like flick her hair. And the way that I immediately was like, I'm getting my extensions back in was hard. So the extensions are out. They have been humbly curled. Oh, at the lowest of heat. I can't tell you how hard it was to get out of the shower and use my Dyson Airwrap that I was using with my extensions. But a breeze, they were bone dry. The strands were bone dry. immediately. That's hard. And yes, here's the thing. I know. What a champagne problem. There's a million things going on in the world. Hard, devastating, heartbreaking, just unlawful things. And so for me talking 10 minutes about my extensions being gone and how I'm like, what am I doing? I know. Not right. Not right. But thin hair do care, you know? Thin hair do care. It's a struggle. So we're back on Indulge Me. And like I said, this is a new little summer, a new little opportunity to get our asses in gear and hang out. So what I also want to just briefly discuss is that I have a little summer studio and I'm really excited by that. What you're seeing here when you're watching it again on a 39-year-old's YouTube, we are here in my little stew. So we do have a studio here for the summer, and with that will come so many different little variety shows, different things that we're cooking up. Okay, let's all move on. Let's move on from that. And like, we can't, I can't, and you can't, you deserve way more than that. But it's the only word I can think of like at this particular juncture. So we are certainly in the kitchen cooking up some things. So I'm going to be trying out different formats and shows, but Indulge Me will forever and always be in the couch with you, talking about all of the things with the, all over the place. Never chronologically. No. So Indulge Me is back. I couldn't be more excited. I love the stew studio, the office as we're calling it. So excited. Come check it out on YouTube if you want to watch and see what's going on. I had my dear friend Ashley help me with this gallery wall, and those are tough, especially, if you've been listening to this pod at all, there's something going on with me in the sense of an ADHD sort of world. And we are en route to a diagnosis of that. But there's a wait list. So as you know, the attention span for me is short and hard. So the idea of like putting up a thing on the wall, oh my God. When you see people on TikTok, like lining up a gallery wall on the floor first, pre-planning the gallery wall, wouldn't be me. Pre-planning the gallery wall. So here I am humbly before you with my thin ass hair, my fun little vest, and the hope that you will forgive me for my absence. And let's get into it. I also had a bit of fun at Zara on their online platform, and it resulted in not one, not two, not three, but 4 fun vests. That's right. I'm now wearing fun little vests, and I'm not quite sure how it's going. I hate to say it again. The YouTube will reveal the fun vest. Lime green, for those that don't have the time to check it out, and that's fair. That's fair. I respect a busy woman. I will leave you alone. And I have been wearing them nonstop. And there have been consequences to the actions. I'm not going to lie about that. Big consequences to the actions, because I'm trying to look pretty loose and goose, right? A loosey goosey, like, look at me, effortlessly chic, cool. And I don't know if I'm pulling it off. I have to tell you, which is always hard, because if you're like me right now, and I know this comes in waves, but I'm in a style rut. And I know I've talked about these on the pod before, and I know they come and go. But I'm just like struggling. I am on the struggle bus when it comes to style. I am hardly ever leaving the house being like, I look amazing. And that's hard. Because you know what happens when you're like that? You start taking big swings just to feel something. You know when you're just like stuck in a uniform and you're just like in a rut and you feel nothing. So now I'm trying to like, push myself out of my comfort zone into something, but then I end up leaving the house going, what the hell am I wearing? What the hell am I wearing? And the vest is tough. I wore a loose black pant with a black vest to the show last night or the other night. And oh man. And I felt like sort of a lost kooky aunt, like someone lost their aunt somewhere, And the hardest one was I went out for drinks last night with Went to a little wine bar, had some snackies, you know, with the gals, which is always fun. And I decided to bring out a vest, black jeans this time, not flowy pants. Okay. So I thought, oh, maybe this is chic, you know, look at me. And then it was all well and good until we got to the second location, which was just like a little dive bar in Toronto. We were going to have a little nightcap. And this is where I was humbled by my choice of the vest, because I went to go get a round of drinks for the gals and I'm at the bar. Okay. The bartender, very cool, very young, you know, her whole life before her. She doesn't know about perimenopause yet. Well, she's heard about it, but when she thinks about it, it's just like the oldest lady, like the lady from the Titanic, which is a movie she's never even heard of because she's that young. So she is young, she is fresh, and the collagen is ripe and producing. She's wearing one of my biggest struggles, a loose graphic tee. When you have big old Betties, big old jombly boobs, you are never able to wear a graphic tee like someone with no breasts. And that might actually be a PSA for people who are addicted to TikTok like I am and get style inspo from people. Do they have huge cans? Because if they don't and you do, swipe away. It's always different. It's never going to be that way for us. As you can see, I bought this vest, oversized. It fits fine. And it's grabbing my big old boulder holders. And it looks like one big breast. It's tough for us. It's a different life that we have to accept. However, here she is, this little bitty bartender in a loose graphic tee. And here's the kicker also, thick hair. Thick hair in a ponytail that I know she could take out and go day to night with. She's not going to have a dent in her hair. You know those girls, those unicorns? So thick hair, loose tee, young. Okay? And she sees me and I see her. And she's decided, I'm not going to serve her yet. No, won't be serving her yet. She's talking to her friends. They're doing shots. Isn't it fun? Then she goes, hon, I'll get to you soon. Okay. She talked to me like I was sort of a lost senior citizen, stumbled out of a doctor's appointment and ended up at a grimy dive bar. So I go, oh, thanks. Okay. She finally comes up to me and she goes, hon, what can I get you? So I say beers, whatever. And then she goes, did you know this was a cash bar, hon? And it's like, here's the thing. I've been going to this bar forever. And it was in that moment I realized she's looking at me saying, this old woman. And I have to believe that the old woman ticker that was placed above my head was there because of my business casual vest that I was trying to take into sort of a chic night look, which maybe is more appropriate for like a wine bar where we were, where the olives are served warm. Okay. But a dive bar, I look like an accountant, you know, an executive assistant who's just trying to make it through the day. The way this woman looked at me, she removed all my sexuality. The sensuality was out the window while I stumbled back to the table with my 4 Modelo's and limes. Tough. I looked like a principal who's like getting a bit loose. She took her blazer off. It's hard when you take the big swing. I went to see the amazing Kate Berlant, who's incredible. I'm obsessed with her. Poog is like everything of the sort. I mean, it has its dynamics that I could discuss and unpack, but I feel like that's a niche topic, but I am open to that if people are willing. Kate Berlant was incredible. And I was wearing a vest and it was kind of a cool venue. And I went to go get a white wine, which is dark at a live event. Why are we getting the wine? It's always in sort of a loose plastic cup. It's a dirty cup. You know, I don't even want wine from a chunky wine glass. Why am I accepting it from a little plastic cup? You don't even get much. And it's like $12. But I didn't want a beer. I was too hot. I felt full. So there I was ordering a white wine from a grungy little performance space. And by little it wasn't, but grungy, you know, like cool space. And she was like, did you come with any friends? Excuse me. Did I come with any friends? Yes, I did. this is where the insecurity is coming from the vests, but I am pushing through in a brave way, a very brave way. But it's tough. And I think it's also tough because I'm rocking it with again, the thin hair, but I need to get over it. I need to just embrace that I have sort of baby fine hair that does absolutely nothing and is completely flat all of the time. You know, anywho's. Okay, let's get into some updates. You'll be really impressed with me, guys. I have an outline. I have an outline on my iPad. That was originally too loud for me, but it's fine. I have an outline of things that I wanted to catch up on with you guys. Some of this will be a little old. Some of this news will be old, but I just want you to know where I stand on these measures so we can all move forward. And as always on this pod, we're going to be all over the damn place. Okay? All over the damn place. So the first thing I wrote is this summer is for the girls because I've had it with the men. Now I know we can all hop on board and say men boo boo boo, and it's kind of becoming like yeah. But there's something about approaching 40 with men. It's like women are born with the clock ticking. You know what I mean? Like we already know what we're losing. I remember turning 10 and my dad said to me, "Wow, you're double digits." And I thought, fuck, there's not a lot of time left. I was aware of the ticking clock. I remember 25, no longer an ingenue, you know, I'll never play Juliet. Also, I think because of how, you know, broad my back was. I was always the nurse. Well, I never got casted as a nurse, but that was what they would, you know, they would have to audition me as. But, you know, we're all aware as women of the clock and what we're losing out on or what we're losing, right? So it's like you're losing collagen, you're losing metabolism, you're losing the ability to have kids, you're losing your eggs, you know. Now you're going to hit perimenopause and lose the ability to not stink the whole time. You know, my pits reek. Ugh, my face is drooping. It's crazy. And this is happening to every woman. But a man gets to just, you know, float through life. And then all of a sudden they start approaching 40 or get into 40 and they're like, oh, what happened? I had Swiss Chalet at 10 p.m. What's happening to my stomach? It's like, yeah, Dave, you're bloated for the first time. And so I have absolutely no sympathy for you. I have been bloated since the womb. Okay? So I'm feeling like all these men that I know that are approaching 40 are all freaking out. And it's too much. I can't take it on. I'm taking on my own thing. You know, there's so much going on. I had my first mammogram this year, which I finally got a doctor, which God knows, we all know how hard that frickin' is. And he was so lovely. And anyways, got my first mammogram. The mammogram machine just shows me that patriarchy is still well and good. Because how are we in the year 2025? How are we still using that machine? Okay. If you never had a mammogram, let me explain it to you. And if you have had mammograms, I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you because it's insane. I will tell you, my nurse was incredible. It was but 10 minutes. Okay. The whole facility was lovely. However, you go in there, you get in robe, which, you know, I love. I'm already buying into that. And it wasn't cold. It was nice. It was welcoming. And, you go into the room and you see the machine. Now, this machine is a tray, okay? And above that tray is what I would describe as like a Dollarama platter. There's like an edge to it. You could put chips and dip, you know, or pretzels, almonds, whatever your taste bud desires. But it looks like a little serving tray. And you're instructed, obviously, to get the old cans out, you know, get your boob out and just shove as much of it as you can on the table, on the platter. So you are pushing your body as much as you can in, and then this beautiful nurse is taking her hand and scooping up my breast and smearing it onto a tray. Smearing. Because you got to get as much as you can on the tray. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That's it. Like, we haven't developed like a sort of cup system where you just cup your boobs have like little divots that you shove them in with a variety of sizes. We just have to lean our bodies as much as we can with the help of a beautiful nurse and smear your breast in, and then the Dollarama tray comes down and pushes on top, and you just hope you got it all. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. If you're a man listening to this, how do you check your nuts? I can't help but think you dip them in something quite warm, like a silicone contraption that just holds them gently. You're not pushing and smearing, but maybe you are. But I just thought, this is it? Wow. I think I presented my boobs too much. Like, that's the thing when I get nervous, like I put on a show that no one is asking me for. So I was doing the most, and she could tell. And I kept like assuring her that I was like super cool with my boobs being out. Why was I saying that? Why do we do that? I was like, oh, I used to work in the theater, used to that. Oh, tough. Telling this nurse about, I used to do theater, so I'm used to being boobs out. And that's not even really true. I would change in a room with people, but we weren't just like boob out walking around. Anyways, but shout out to my nurse who was so beautiful and wonderful. Another thing that's sort of sad, but I just think we have to say before we can move on, is I did have to say goodbye to my sweet burger in January, which was so sad. He was 15. He lived like the best life. He was the best guy. And he was just going downhill, you know, and it was just time. So we had to say goodbye to him. It was so sad. I've never had to put a dog down before, or any animal, as an adult. And it is so hard. And, I was really, really thankful that a friend of mine had recommended a company in Halifax where I was at the time, and they come to your house and you can say goodbye there in like the comfort of your home around their bed. And I was really thankful that I was able to do that for Berg. And of course, we said goodbye with some chicken nuggets and a Berg, you know, a Berg for a Berg. He wolfed on that cheeseburger so fast, ketchup on the paw, sent him to heaven with a bit of ketchup, which I think ideal. But yeah, putting down a dog is so wild, because this has made me a little morbid, but like if you've never done this, it's so insane where you kind of comes to a point where you go, I think we have to say goodbye. And I was, you know, fortunate in a position where it was an emergency, but it was time, and you just plan the time. And so then there's days in between, or at least there was for me, where there's days in between where you're looking at your dog and you're like, well, I guess I'm killing you in 4 days. Sorry. It's such a bizarre dynamic where like, I know what's about to happen and I'm just sobbing in front of my dog, who's just like very old, looking at me, wondering why the hell I'm crying at him. I kept picking him up and embracing him, and he just kept being like, ugh. Obviously I was being a freak of nature to him. So, so weird. But again, was so lucky that I got to, say goodbye to him in that way. And it was really, really special. And, you know, so beautiful. And the woman that we, worked with, she was incredible. And I'm just so thankful for her. She was the best. So we had to say goodbye to Berg, which is tough. And I miss him so much. And you miss the noise. I miss the noise. I realize, like, obviously, if you've listened to the pod or know me, it's like chaos we love. You know, I'm used to it and live in sort of a little chaos energy. And so when he left, I realized how quiet it was in my house. And Vic is like my other guy, my other boy, my sweet basset of a man. And he's so quiet and so pure. And so the house is a lot more quiet without him. So I do miss him so much. But We love you, Berg. We love you, Berg. I have something I need to reveal to you guys, and I'm curious how you will take this news because like I'm also like processing it myself. I have taken up golf.
I hope you keep on serving cunt.
Yeah, I have taken up golf. I'm a new golfer. I don't know what took over me, but a couple of months ago, I was saying to my boyfriend, I was like, I think I want to get into golf. I haven't been influenced. It just came to me that I needed to get into golf. And he was down. He likes to golf. And what has preceded now is I'm an insane person. I'm crazy. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay. I love to golf. I went to the driving range and first I was like embarrassed because golf is like all these old men, which I simply can't even, or just some like sort of like aggro alpha male with sort of a receding hairline and like really tight pants, but who were like at the driving range. And I'm just like, I was so scared that they were going to tell me how to putt or do things or whatever. But they didn't, thank goodness. But I know that will be upon me at some point. But I went to the driving range. I became obsessed. So then I upgraded to going out and doing 18 holes with some friends. They couldn't have been more supportive, but I got to tell you, it was so nerve-wracking. But then I smacked that ball with the fury of 1,000, I was about to say suns, but it was thuns, with the fury of 1,000 thuns. And I was hooked. And I thought, what will become of me? So I'm obsessed. And I will keep you updated. If there are women listening to this pod and you also golf, I need you to get at me, gal. Okay? I need you to tell me what's up, what to do. I guess I'm going to become a golf influencer now. That's probably the way to go. Now we're going to get into a little bit of pop culture, okay? And yes, some of this stuff is old news. It's older, but we haven't been talking, and I need you to know where I stand, and I need to know where you stand. We need to, get through it, and so we can all be on the same page. It's important. So much has happened, so much is going on, and I need to know where we're at. Okay, so we had to say goodbye to Roni. I know that is such old news, but Roni, the reboot is dead and done, and as it should have been. As it should have been. We deserved more than what we got on Roni. And the real women that created Roni, the devils in not disguise, the absolute devils in not disguise out in public, those devils created what I choose to believe as one of the best franchises in housewife history. In housewife history.
I hope you keep on serving cunt. Keep on serving cunt. Keep on serving cunt.
Those gals built a franchise that we will never know of again. It was so wild. It's truly legendary. So much so, I am currently doing a rewatch of Roni when Bethany returns, because I just couldn't take on the seasons of Jill Zarin. I just couldn't take on Jill Zarin at this particular point. Nothing against her. I just couldn't do it. Okay. And so I started when she returned, which I believe is season 6 or 7. And now I am in the years of Tom. Okay. The Countess and Tom and the Regency and Bethany knowing too much and the wedding being compromised and that hotel reveal that is so legendary. It is so, we did not know what we had when we had it. That, my friends, is reality television. And why? I'll say it again, as I always do on this pod, until someone listens to me. We can no longer have reality TV with fake friendships. It doesn't work. This is like people being like, AI is a good thing. It isn't, okay? Because you can never capture natural chemistry. Why did we like Vanderpump? They were really friends. They really worked at that restaurant. They were really pushing 30, actor, model, whatevers, okay? And they were desperate. And that's why we have the best seasons of television. Vanderpump is canon television. You cannot tell me otherwise. And the reason that it is because they are actual friends. Okay. That is true and that is real. But Roni, the reboot, they were not friends. They're not friends. They were never friends. We had to watch a season of Strangers. Do you know how wild that is? A season of Strangers. And it wasn't good. I mean, Jenna, the reason we, I think, aligned with Jenna Lyons is she was so chic. She was rich. She let us see inside of her beautiful apartment, and her little dog drank coffee. There's something about that we can align with. But everything else was boring. Boo-boo boring. And the second season was abysmal. Brynn off her rocker. Okay? How did she get that apartment? What does she do? Much like me, I know she has a new office. I don't know what she does in it. And I know that's hypocritical because what am I doing? Something, I believe. I'm getting something done. Yeah, her sort of rolling around in the sand to that lifeguard. I couldn't finish the season. It just wasn't it for me. I'm a purist. I'm a housewife purist. And those women, the original New York women, they were friends, at least friendly. Okay. Moved in the same similar circles. There was history. There was status. There's something that is so dynamic. And I know people think reality TV is frivolous, but I just think it's like those women, oh, wow, to see women in their 50s and their 60s being represented that way, sort of unlikable, dynamic, power hungry, rotted, like you never see that. And I think that's the thing. All the New York women in the reboot were aware of their like brands, my brands. It's so boring. Like when Aaron's husband was like, we were doing shrooms and she got really mad at him. Boring. Who cares? So yeah, that was boring. I'm glad it's gone. But it is sad. And so I'm just, paying respect to the original gals for being absolute rotted monsters that really got me through the tougher of times. Okay. Thank you for that. And thank you for your service. I see you. I hear you. I love you. But yeah, I'm really feeling like we're heading towards maybe a funk in the reality TV zone because I know people are liking the Mormon Wives. I think it's kind of trash. I don't think it's good. Again, the women are not really friends. They're like these weird influencers trying to like secure the bag, and good for them. I hope they run away with it, but it's just like drama I cannot get behind. It's all fabricated. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel connected and sinewy, and there's no history. It's all pretend. So I can't really get into that at all. So I'm sorry about that, but I cannot do the Housewives. What I can say, and I know that we are in a blessed time in that there is a new season of Sister Wives, and you bet your bottom goddamn dollar I am watching the gals. There has been absolute tragedy in the family. It's so sad. And I've been watching it since I was like a teen. I think there's like 28 seasons or something. Robin remains outside for the majority of her footage. I don't know why we can't go into Robin's house. I was contemplating doing some Sister Wives debriefs because I know it's like kind of like the kitschy little thing to do on TikTok, but I'm like, I'm a truther. Okay. Like I've been there. I was rushing home from school to watch my girls, to watch, my sort of polyamorous girls, my polygamous girls. And now they're all divorced from Cody except for Robin. I feel like she's stressing out. Poor Janelle. She lost her son. It's all very, very sad. But that is history. That's why people keep coming back to it time and time again, is like these women have been together for 30 years, been married to this gross, disgusting man with a receding perm. Those curls aren't natural. And I would know. Because the last 6 seasons, they just keep showing the same goddamn family photo shoot. And you can tell it's a perm. Because when you see Cody in the earlier days when he marries Mary, there's no perm. There's no curls. So that's all man-made fabrications. Oh, speaking of man-made, can we talk about Kris Jenner's new face? Kris Jenner's new face, I know we're already over it. but a job well done. And not only a job well done, but a job well said, because she's like, yeah, I got a facelift, and mentioned the doctor. And then Kylie Jenner comes out and someone's like, who did your boobs? And she said exactly what she got. I love that the Kardashians are just like, yeah, now we just have to cop to it. Because I will never forget Kim Kardashian pretending she didn't get a BBL, and they did the ultrasound on her ass and she didn't have any silicone implants. And we took that as fact. At least I did. Okay. I took down my detective hat and glasses. I said, okay, I believe you. However, I didn't know back then. I had dial-up internet. You think I had the ability to even come across BBL? Hell no. Hell no. I was in a farming town. But little did we know that the fat wouldn't come up in the ultrasound, and she was chocked full of it right in her double buns. Okay. So their secrecy of work is so annoying and boring, but I like that they're coming out now and saying, yeah, I got this done. Good for them. Good shift in the narrative. This is why Kris Jenner is a mastermind that we have to applaud and appreciate, because it's truly next level. Which brings me to another facelift of question, Lindsay Lohan, who truly has some of the most legendary plastic surgery. It is so beautifully done. It is so beautifully done. And the thing that makes me laugh so much is that she won't admit it. She's decided to not admit that she has a facelift. I'm living for it. I mean, the delusions of grandeur. She's saying that she drinks beet juice and chia seeds, and that's what's giving her the face. Okay. Well, we already know the doctor. We found out. And I kind of wish she just got ahead of it. It was like, yeah, I got some amazing work done. Like, I think just embrace it. But there's also something I appreciate about her just simply lying. But we're advanced now in a society where we can go, yeah, right. Which I think that's a fun little song and dance we can do here. She gets to say that she drinks beet juice, and that's why she has new teeth and a new face and a new neck. And we go, okay, girl. You know, and that's sort of a fun little tension we can play in. I can't hide. I mean, not to bring up the extensions again, because we all know, like, again, it's like an emotional state for me. But I was out and a woman was like, you have amazing hair. Oh my God, I just love it. And I was like, oh, these are all extensions. Like, I always just tell people that it's fake hair because I just didn't know. I didn't know. I was so naive to that. And it got to the point where I lifted up my hair and like showed her the wefts. And she just like so politely looked at me and she goes, you didn't have to do that. It was like, I felt like I just flashed her or something. And then I realized, yeah, I guess I don't have to tell her, but I felt no shame in it. You know, why not just tell? But it was sort of a humbling moment. Okay, I also want to discuss this. Southern hospitality. Southern hospitality, if you are on the fence and you are missing Vanderpump Rules, I've said this before on the pod, but if you are missing like a Vanderpump Rules, if you're looking for like an actually real group of friends, sort of sinewy, I keep saying sinewy, I refuse to change, but Southern hospitality is it. I love it. I don't think nothing will ever compare to Vanderpump. Like, Vanderpump is the upper echelon of television. Like, it is truly legendary. I'm actually considering rewatching it because like I need something. You know, it's the summer. It's time to just have fun. So I might be doing a rewatch of Vanderpump. But Southern hospitality gets pretty close. They work in a restaurant. They actually are friends. They look like real people. Like, they're hot, but they're like off, you know? Like, they're not just like plastic fake AI people. They have a personality to them, and I really love it. This season especially ended with a relationship that is so wild and toxic, and that of course is Emmy and Will. If you watch Summer House, Emmy, I worry to the upper echelon of extent. Emmy has decided to stay with Will, even though he's allegedly, but not allegedly, like cheating on her and like treats her like crap. But they are deciding to be a unit, and they ended the season, and most recently they got engaged. And haunting. Just a woman who just wants to be married. And it's like, having been a woman who was married, it's like, okay, after the ring and the band, you're still just in the house, you know? So I wish her well, but I can't see it. Her Instagram is really just her living in the sauna all the time and sort of saying, I stayed in this for 45 minutes. I stayed in this for 60 minutes. And it's like, okay, but do you want to get out and can we talk? You know, I worry. I just said, you know, Emmy and Will from Southern Hospitality are engaged. I am unsettled. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it. And she's, yeah. I feel like not enough people are watching Southern Hospitality, so I will keep my thoughts brief on the matter. However, do let me know, message me, and let me know if you are watching it, because I'm happy to go deeper in. I know that the season is much long gone, but again, we haven't discussed. Oh yeah, she did. This is the thing that was concerning. Emmy posted on her Instagram sort of bragging. I guess some people sent some mean comments her way, and she started bragging that she knew she was going to get engaged. She was like, duh, I wore this dress. Like, I knew. And I just think, like, where are her friends? Because if I was acting like that online, I would hope that a friend would go, that's enough of that. And don't say that about this podcast, okay? Don't do that. I could see how you could go there. Okay, let's get into it. Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. Wow. I mean, this is one of the stories of our generation. I am so tied to the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni case. I need to give a proper shout out to all of the TikTok lawyers who are keeping us abreast line by line on the documents. The way these lawyers are going line by line, explaining everything, like I feel like I'm in law school with this. And there's something funny about like knowing too much and being too deep on the drama, that when someone sort of goes like, oh, well, I heard that she's like suing. It's like, listen, you don't know anything. Okay. People who don't know enough, who are taking big swings on the opinions. I don't know if you're like me. I just go, please, you don't know enough. You don't know enough. Okay. And listen, I'm sure Justin Baldoni wouldn't be the coolest guy to have dinner with. Okay. But it's like, there's so many facts showing that she's a liar. She's a liar. I mean, she is cuckoo bananas. And that's what's so crazy, because most recently his defamation suit has been dismissed with prejudice, which means he cannot refile that. Now, I was listening to his lawyer, Brian Friedman, talking, I believe on TMZ, dark. I know, I had to have a shower after. It's a sort of a tough program. And he was saying that, well, what the judge has done is just removed any of the bits and bobs and sort of streamlined everything. So meaning that they're just going to focus on the main case, because Justin Baldoni's was a countersuit to her claims. I can't believe that it was dismissed. But again, I'm not a lawyer, but the fact that basically allegedly, but like, I think it's been confirmed. I don't know. Don't come for me. But Taylor Swift's dad reached out to Baldoni's team because Blake Lively, her team told Taylor Swift to start posting positively about her. And if she didn't, that Blake Lively was going to release 10 years of text messaging. Can you imagine? Can you imagine your text messages with your best friends get leaked? Oh my God. And I guess her dad did that because Baldoni's team was going to subpoena Taylor Swift, and she would have to come in and be interviewed and blah, blah, blah. So I think they struck a deal by being like, we will go on record saying that this happened, but we want nothing to do with this case. That's crazy. That's crazy. I just wonder what it's for Blake Lively. Like, what actually is it for? Like, did you not think it would go this far? Did you think you could just get away with it? Is it now an ego thing? Like, I'm just curious to know what's going on with her, because there's like footage and proof that like this is not true. So that's wild, deeply disturbing. And also the Ryan Reynolds of it all. I mean, he is just, you know, and you know that it's bad, because now he's like promoting scrambled eggs for Tim Hortons. Like, he's reminding us he's Canadian again. Like, where have you been? Like, all of a sudden now you're in this like massive, you know, lawsuit, and like your brands are on fire. And now all of a sudden you're like coming back to Canada and saying, yeah, buy my box of scrambled eggs. I don't think so. I don't think so on that. I don't think we want just a box of your scrambled eggs and you think that we're just going to forgive you for all this tomfoolery. We're barely allowing your spray tan. What's going on with your hair? You have to add dimension He's dyeing his hair this sort of auburn brown, or at least that's how it's coming across in the photos I'm seeing. And he's just not looking well. Very tanned. A very tan man with an all over color, no dimension, selling me some wet scrambled eggs in a box in Tim Hortons. I'll pass for now. I don't want that from you. I am wondering how this is going to shake out, though. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because, like golf, I'm sort of alone on this other hobby where not a lot of people want to talk about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. They just want to go, oh, I'm over it. Who cares? And it's like, okay, well, I do care. Okay. And I'm in the center of the tornado. So I'll keep you abreast of everything that I'm seeing. The dismissal was a huge shock to me. I got emotional about it. Not really. I just went, oh God, and then I had some jerky in the car, but nevertheless, I grieved. Okay. I want to end on this. Are we watching The Valley? The Valley, you guys, it's not for the faint of heart. The Valley is not for the faint of heart. Now, I do consider myself a sort of reality TV sommelier. And there are types of shows that I would recommend to people, and there's some that I would not. Okay, so people who don't like yelling or don't like to be, a grown-up, I will always suggest Below Deck. It's happy, it's fun. There's some darker seasons, but I'm sure you'll just watch Sailing Yacht or whatever. I'm not particularly into the franchise anymore, but I was there from day one and I loved it. Love Kate Chastain, truly legendary. There's so many amazing people on it. Now, when it comes, and I've talked about this on the pod, my sort of grading system, I'm not going to recommend everyone watch Sister Wives. There's a particular type of woman that I know that I will say, you are ready for that. You have graduated to that. You are ready for the depths and the hollows and the sadness of Sister Wives. You can handle it. The Valley is now on that list as well. It's not for the faint of heart. We are in some dark, dark times with The Valley. Jack's unwell. It almost seems too dark. I'm still watching it. I will watch it to the bitter end. But the men on there are terrifying. Terrifying. Jack's particularly. Well, here's the thing that makes me laugh. The big reveal is that he has a coke problem. Well, if you watch Vanderpump Rules, yeah, you think? We knew that. This isn't new news to us. Of course he has a coke problem. And so that kind of comes to a breaking point and is revealed by Brittany. She's in a very abusive relationship with Jax, very toxic, verbally abusive, throwing things at her while her son's in the house. I mean, this is dark, dark stuff. And now he's in rehab, but then he fakes a heart attack. He's in this rehab facility where he can have his phone and he's just rage texting her. It is all very, very, very dark. And now things are coming out where he stopped paying the mortgage, so he ruined her financially. He's very controlling. He's watching her through the cameras in her house. All of this is very scary stuff. And I have to say also, the after show on YouTube, if you're watching The Valley and you're not watching the after show, I highly suggest. Sometimes the after show is way more juicy, way more. You get way more information. It's incredible. I highly recommend that. But man, I wrote, the cast knows how to put in the work. They certainly do. They certainly do. I mean, it is quite the time. Nia and Danny bum me out. That condo, they're bursting at the brim. 4 kids now on the way. Danny is gross. Very gross. When he was chugging the tequila in the closet and then pretending that wasn't a big deal, that he was tired. This is the thing that bothers me. It's like, if you're going to be on the show, yeah, they're just pretending that they're going to be good people. I could see why Brittany was upset with Nia. I would find that annoying. Where her whole ass is out for all of us to see. Her whole life is out, all of the things. And Nia's like, oh no, Danny's not drunk. He's just he drove from San Bernardino and he's really tired. It's cut the shit. Nia's so boring too. Beautiful. So stunning, but boring. And Janet, you guys, Janet is causing so much drama. It's crazy. Allegedly, and I have to look into the story and I'll do it for the next pod, but apparently Janet was just a big fan of Vanderpump Rules and set her eyes on becoming friends with the cast, and then moved to LA and then aligned herself with Sheena Shea, and now that's why she's been brought into the group. Isn't that crazy? Can you imagine? This was my question. I was like, is the show too dark? Yes. But also, should some shows go there? I don't know. The Valley is unlike many others. They're really showing everything. It is so wild. I can't look away. I can't look away. Okay, pals, we did it. First episode. I'm so excited to be back. You have no flippin' freaking clue how excited I am to be back chatting with you. If you have any topics, any conversations you want to have, send me a voicemail. Send me a message and we will get to them and I will play them on the pod. We have our first voicemail coming in. It's many, many moons late. Obviously, we know that. That'll be next episode. I'm really excited to dig into it. And I adore you. Tell a friend. Get them to join the party. And I will see you all next week. Bye.